on some level. And so the idea of purpose or having purpose, knowing this, it became empty because it wasn't fulfilling you anymore. And I think that what happens is when I call these realignment stages where the soul is beginning to start to crack and want to come through and wanting to unwind and unbind and say, hey, wake up. I've given you some gifts, but I want you to use them this way, not that way. But you need to do a few things first. And for me, that's kind of a deep belief, because I do think that literally when we go to the wall, it's like our soul is dying. And our soul takes us there because we need to feel it. We need to feel it, otherwise we can't move beyond it. Because all it wants to tell us is we have to shift course. In a way, I feel it tries to take us to the state of discomfort, that it's so bad that we have to get out. Mm. And the only way to get out is to find a new purpose, a new way of being. Because invariably, most people, when I do a lot of depressed work, it's normally that they are incredibly angry about things. Mm. When we look at it, we look at where the anger is. And once they kind of work with that and are able to express themselves, so when you go back into the childhood, you see that there probably hasn't been an opportunity to do these things. And so therefore, or learn to express oneself and one's feelings in a way that's constructive, more so, and get your way in a way that's powerful. So in a way, we lead our parents' life until we choose to lead our own. That's really, yeah. So once we can get through that and we start saying, okay, and be grateful, as you said, was the gift. You realized, hey, if I hadn't gone there, if I hadn't taken that opportunity to really reflect, to really go deep, and do something which was incredibly powerful, scary, because I think that one of the most horrible things is to wake up and think, I don't want to wake up tomorrow, because it's not nice and it's awful. And even to admit that is powerful in itself, because your gift to the world is telling people that that's where you went. And look at me now. Look at me now. Yes, it wasn't the easiest, but look at me now. And I think that gives you that authenticity for your program that you're running. That gives you the drive to move forward. Because when you do that, that's when the energy of your inner source starts to come through. And there's one thing in spiritual teachings is you're actually almost like burning the energy of the sun, and you don't have to eat because it's already taking you. And, it sounds like that's where it is for you right now.
Very, very.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah.
No, carry on. Sorry, I interrupted. Yeah, heavy, deep.
No, that's really, really interesting. And to relate to the imposter syndrome, it's funny because you said I was gifted. I never felt I was gifted because I was never the best in anything I was doing. I was just doing things because I was doing things. But actually, if I compare to the whole world, of course, it's not that easy. Not everyone is able to do an engineering school and to do everything I did. But for me, I felt like I was a fraud because I was doing things.
I've got a question.
Like
And we'll go to a break and we'll come back with our last episode. So, Shirin, do you think that? So, I've got our neighbour's daughter has a French family, and since one of the boys has been 8 or so, he's been quite philosophical. And do you think that the state that Nicholas faced, because I think 25 is quite early to have that kind of breakthrough. Mine came in midlife. Do you think there's something about the culture that makes it different in France?
Not quite sure whether that is true. I know that at 28, I knew I was a different person from the day before. I felt that click in my brain that said, okay, everything's settled. you know, because while we're going through adolescence, our brain is changing chaotically. And there's a time where it starts to really begin, the patterns that you're going to have are there. And that's when you start to shift in kind of like the next phase. And so I think, yes, culture does have some things, but also, you know, I think how parents are is going to make a very big difference to whether they're going to be very reflective as beings or not. And there was something that I remember having a client who was trying to get pregnant, and she came for a reflexology session. We did some gentle birth, and she got pregnant. She was about 41, 42. And she said the one thing was, there's a beautiful word in French called be sage, be wise. So when you ask questions or when you help children, you don't say be good, you say be wise, be wise. What a beautiful thing to say, because what you're getting is you're trying to teach children how to look at things in a different way, that's with wisdom rather than just kind of thinking it from the head or just feeling it from the body, but bringing these two together. How do you be wise? And I know that not all French children have that, but it was a really lovely thing. And I'm sure, Nicholas, you're doing that for your child. You're already starting the process of asking them. I'm sure with a breakthrough like what you have, I can't imagine that you wouldn't be doing it.
I'm trying to pass on. And actually, just to I've just corrected, I was from 26 to 28 when I was in depression. So not 25, a bit.
Ta-da! And the stories line up like a mesh. I tell you what, I didn't know I was going to ask that question, and I didn't know, Shirin, you were going to have the answer to that question, and how amazingly the arc has appeared. Yeah, I love these. Right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll join you in a moment. All right, take it easy.